So, it's really interesting. I talk about just the power of our thoughts and the way that we think. A question that I got a couple of years ago when I was giving a thought or giving a talk was, where do our thoughts come from? And so there was conversation taking place in this room about it. Does it come from some spiritual being? Does it come from the universe? Does it come from something within us? And I said, well, a lot of our thoughts come from other people. Our thoughts have been programmed in us from the moment we have been born. And then for a lot of us, we get to a point in life where we're like, wait a second, I'm not even sure the way that I think if that really belongs to me. And I'm not even sure if it works for the life that I want. I'll give you an example. Right? We are taught from a very early age that around 18 to 22 years old, we're going to get a job. Some people get it earlier, some people get it later. We're going to get a job. It used to be that we were going to stay at this job for 40 to 50 years and then we'd retire. Things have changed a little bit. A lot of times people don't stay in the same place 40 or 50 years. But what is true is that people tend to work for decades. And then we've bought into this idea that we're going to work for decades. And then around 65, if we're lucky, 70, 75, if we're being more realistic, we'll be able to retire. And then we'll be able to enjoy our lives. Well, I've got news for everybody. That doesn't work well for most people. As a doctor, I see people all the time who don't even live to be 65 or 70 or 75 years old. And then I see people who have made it and were able to get to that point and retire. And you know what happens? Their bodies are broken. And they are hobbling around all over the place and not truly able to enjoy their life. The other thing that I often see is that people will make it to 65, 70 years old. They might be in pretty good shape. And then 3-4 months later, there's some big health catastrophe that takes place. Maybe they suffered a stroke or a heart attack or bleeding in their brain. Or you know what? Maybe dementia is starting to set in because they spent decades doing the same thing, not teaching themselves new skills and therefore not making new neurons and new connections within their brains.